What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back with another review of Zatima. This is Season 3, Episode 16, and the episode is titled The Art of Surprise. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So we start this episode off with Zach throwing Malachi to the floor. He's yelling at Leslie, thinking that it's Fatima, but then he quickly realizes, wait a second, this ain't Fatima. Who are you people? So Malachi basically says that they're old friends of Fatima, and because she's running late, she told them where the spare key was so that way they can let themselves in. I'm sorry, that's weird. Like, I understand the concept of y'all being old friends, but she ain't seen y'all since high school? Or since, right after high school? Baby, it's been a solid 10 years. She don't know y'all like that. She don't. Like, why would you let these random people in your house? Also, if y'all was supposed to have dinner together, is Fatima going to bring dinner? Because ain't nobody cooking in this house. And also, Malachi, you out here really trying to get frisky with your wife, and you at somebody else's table? On somebody else, kitchen table? That's a little weird. Alright, so jumping over to Angela's house, she decides to let Bryce come back in because she needs to get to the bottom of this. So she's like, what is all of this? Why'd you, do these videos and all this stuff? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. So then she ends up showing him the videos that she's talking about. And he's like, I don't know. Oh, but then he has a little inkling of what could have possibly happened. Alright, so Bryce decides to explain that he was watching some corn and they sent him some type of message saying that they were going to leak his video, but then he had to give up $10,000 in Bitcoin. But keep in mind, they didn't catch him doing anything because his camera's covered, but they were able to hack into his passwords, and he changed all of his passwords except for the one, I guess, for the security system. Y'all, I don't know if I believe Bryce with this situation. Like, we just went all around the world for us to get to that conclusion. That's a little weird. That's a whole lot of weird, actually. So she's like, listen, I need this video taken down right now. And then he had the audacity to say, well, you look so good at it. Excuse me? So you mean to tell me that you watched this video, probably? Bryce, you gotta go, buddy. I'm sorry. You have got to go. He talking about some, oh yeah, I can fix this. Just let me call some people. Like she said, who are you going to call? Please let us know who you about to call. That judge again? Because you just bothered that judge to help Zach get out of jail. So I'm pretty sure the judge can't help you with this. But of course, he apologizes, saying that he's sorry. And Angela's like, you're always sorry. Now that right there is a true fact. That man apologizes on every episode. And I want him to stop. Like, Bryce is such a horrible character. I am so over him. But let's go ahead and move on because Fatima finally shows up, okay? She finally comes home, and here's the thing. Her friends are still there, acting like nothing had happened, but they didn't clean up the mess. And she's like, what happened here? And the friends have to tell her, that her man came home and they had a little moment there where Malachi got thrown to the floor. Now, it's so interesting to me that Fatima's like, yeah, your hair is just like mine now. And I'm just like, yo, what is this? Because, Leslie, are you about to give us like single white female and you want to be Fatima? Because you did not have those curls the last time that we saw you. Baby, let me tell you, Zach and Fatima were so cold to each other. When Zach, he came out of the bathroom or whatever, he just took a shower, and Fatima, she done took her shoes off because she off work. And when they spoke to each other, they were so cold. Like, he walked by her, she rolled her eyes, and he's basically questioning her like, so you knew that my brother was still alive and you didn't try to come get me out or whatever. And she's like, I don't want to talk about this right now. Now, I will say that this is kind of awkward for her to have this conversation with him right now because her people downstairs. And on top of that, baby, we know how Zach can get loud and they ain't got no doors up there. Now, I will say this. I love that we addressed that problem because since this house was built, I have been giving it a side eye. because I don't understand why Zach's place is built like a loft. And according to them, somewhere in this house, there's another room where his child sleeps. Where that is, we don't know. And also, where is Michael? Anybody know? Anybody seen him? Do we need to put out an Amber Alert for him? Because we ain't seen that child. But I digress. So she goes into the bathroom or whatever, and he follows her. And she's like, could you please get out? Like, I want to use the bathroom. And he's like, nope, I done seen you pee before. I'm like, oh my gosh. So Zach starts this conversation by admitting that he is wrong. However, he is still standing on the fact that he basically has to teach his brother a lesson because he can't put his hands on Zatima. All right, cool. But Zach, let's not act like you did not beat that man to a bloody pulp, okay? Like, you really went in on him, and I get it. You took out all your frustrations on your brother's face. We understand. Zatima basically is trying to tell him, like, listen, if your brother did die, that would have absolutely ruined everything that you have going for yourself. And also, she ends up asking him, like, but did you actually want to kill your brother? And Zach says no. However, I kind of feel like Zach probably would not mind if his brother had passed away. And here's why I'm saying this. Because at the end of the day, Jeremiah has been a burden to Zach since they were children. Okay? He has always got Zach into mischief, gotten him into trouble as they got older. It's always been something with Jeremiah. It also does not help that Jeremiah is now hooked on drugs, okay? Because no matter how much Zach may try to help him, he has to want to change himself. Same thing like his mother, okay? Same thing like Zach's mom. She didn't want to change. What was he supposed to do with that? So, I kind of feel like if Jeremiah didn't make it, Zach wouldn't feel no types of hurt. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that is his brother. You know what I mean? Now, this is where things got a little weird for me because Zach had the audacity to say, you know, if something like this happens again, just don't tell me. Baby, she wasn't trying to tell you, okay? She was trying to hold this in every way possible. However, everybody started putting two and two together and they decided to tell you. Now, Zach, he decides to say that, you know, most women, they will want their men to be a protector and all of this stuff. However, Zatima is like, yeah, but not when it's going to jeopardize everything we got going on. So then she goes on to tell this story about how her mom, she had got into it with some man over a parking spot. And Zatima was like, you know, just call dad. And her mom was like, no, because she wasn't going to put her husband in a compromising situation that could make things worse when it didn't have to go down that way. So I'm assuming that these two are now on the good foot, y'all. Zatima and Zach, they are, you know, back in action. She done kicked him out the bathroom so she could finally use the bathroom because he was taking forever to leave. And then he decides to head on downstairs to actually, I guess, entertain the guests that were there. Now, baby, I can already tell these two gonna get on my nerves. I can already feel it in my spirit because Zach, he checks on Malachi like, oh, are you good or whatever. Malachi say, yeah. Oh, girl, Leslie, she says, I can't remember what she says, something along the lines of being like, you know, things escalated quickly. And Zach is like, well, I mean, there's two random people in my house going at it. And at the end of the day, you look like Zatima, especially with your hair like that. And she still ain't got no answer for it. She's like, oh, well, you know, baby, tell him what you would have did. And Malachi's like, oh, I would have made sure I was seeing what I was seeing. Negro, what was there to see? Like, I'm sorry. These two are not them trying to play in Zach's face. Like, be so for real. If I come into my house and there's two strangers there, that's problem number one. Number two, the guy is kissing all on a woman who looks just like my person, my woman, my girl, my fiance. You damn right I'm about to go ahead and see what's going on. You may get beat up in the commotion, but hey, it is what it is. And Leslie, why do you look like Zatima? Then these two get even weirder for me because Malachi basically tells Zach that, I can tell that you don't have any training because of the way that you threw me to the ground or whatever. And I'm like, training for what? So now you think you somebody because you was in the military? I didn't know that there was a grading scale of how to throw somebody to the ground. I never knew that was a thing. So Leslie, she's like, yeah, baby, go ahead, show him, baby, show him. And next thing you know, they reenact how they was, standing in the kitchen. Zach puts his hands on Malachi. Malachi is able to toss Zach to the ground. And I'm just like, what was all of this for? Like, what was all of this for? I don't know anybody who would be invited to dinner that would decide that after they got their ass thrown to the floor, which, by the way, it was actually understandable, you decide that now y'all want to play let's see who's more tactical. What the are we watching? So Fatima ends up coming downstairs and she's like, what is going on? So everybody tried to act, I guess, normal, and she ends up telling them, oh yeah, it's too late to cook, so I ordered food. Now she remembers that this woman is vegan and her man, he eats meat, right? So the ladies end up stepping away. The guys talk. Baby, once Malachi said that he was an FBI agent, Zach was like, okay, so what you want to know? Because I already know you probably looked me up. And Malachi's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Malachi, I'm pretty sure you probably looked him up. Let's be honest. So then Zach was like, yeah, I know that you did because it's not what you said, it's how you said it. And I think he was referring to when he was like, oh yeah, you threw me street style or whatever he said. But according to Malachi, that's not his MO. He knows that black men have made mistakes in their past. Not him though. He too good to make mistakes. But other black men have, and they had to go to jail for it. So Zach ends up asking him, so how long y'all knew each other? And he was like, oh, about 20 years. So I'm like, okay, yeah. Maybe they actually did go to, high school together or something. Or maybe even middle school. Sheesh, I don't know how old Fatima is supposed to be on this show. So Zach ends up asking, so when the last time y'all talked to each other, y'all seen each other, what's going on here? And oh boy is like, it's been a long time. And Zach is like, oh, okay. So at this point, Malachi is like, oh, what are you thinking? And Zach, he was just like, I ain't never heard of y'all. She ain't ever mentioned y'all, so I'm just a little confused here. You know what I mean? And it's weird that Malachi was like, I don't see why she hasn't, because she ain't seen y'all in who knows how long. That's weird. If I have not seen somebody in 10, 15 years, what am I mentioning those people for? I don't know them like that no more. They're living their life. I'm living mine. We don't keep in contact. Be so for real about yourself. Why do you think that you're so important, Malachi? Now, moving on, we see Fatima get a phone call, and it is Angela, okay? Baby, Angela is stressed the hell out, okay? She's telling Fatima that it was Bryce. Bryce says that he was hacked, and Fatima's like, do you believe him? And Angela's like, I don't even know. I don't know what to believe at this point, but I do need this stuff taken down. So Fatima basically tells her, okay, well, I'm about to have dinner or whatever, and I'll have a conversation with them about it. Well, to him, sorry, Malachi is the one that's the FBI. She's going to have a conversation with him about it later after they eat. And Angela's like, just be sure to call me when it's done because I really need that stuff taken down. And honestly, I feel really bad for Angela in this moment because literally it's something that's out of her control. She legit can't control any of this. It's a fetish site. She don't know whose login it was, who uploaded it. The poor girl's stressed out, okay? I feel bad for the girl. But moving on back to Fatima, here go Leslie, about to get on my nerves again. She had the audacity to tell Fatima that, Zach, he was really upset earlier. And Fatima's like, well, he just got a lot going on. And here goes this girl. She's like, well, no, he was upset because he thought that it was you or whatever. And Fatima has to explain yet again It's because you're looking just like me, especially by the head, okay? Because first of all, he couldn't even see whose face it was. All he saw was the hair and a man standing over a woman. Yeah, he would have thought that it was his woman, even though we can see that y'all are two different sizes, but from a distance, probably couldn't tell that, okay? Also, I don't understand how many times people have to reiterate this to you for you to comprehend why Zach felt that way. Then Miss Mamas goes on to admit that she has looked Zach up, okay? Because, Fatima's trying to keep it cute. Like, oh, he just has a temper, blah, 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 blah. He's a work in progress. Oh, no, baby, that wasn't good enough for Miss Leslie. Leslie's like, nah. He's a hothead. He had a robbery charge. He beat up his brother. Girl, you did a lot of research. You did a lot of research on a man that's not your man. Like, that is giving wild. So, baby, we get to this dinner scene, right? And basically, Fatima, they was like, oh, yeah, you remembered what we like or whatever. Fatima's like, yeah, I couldn't forget. Whatever, right? Still trying to keep things cool. But, baby, little Miss Mama's, Leslie, she done drunk too much because she decided, let's go ahead and bust it wide open. Let's address the elephant in the room. Baby, we didn't need none of this information, but she decided to blurt it out, okay? Because you got Fatima and Malachi both saying, like, girl, cool out, chill out. You've been drinking too much. Be quiet. This ain't the time. This ain't the place. This don't need to be said. Well, baby, she wasn't listening to nobody because she lets us all know that Malachi and Fatima, they used to be a thing. Malachi was supposedly her dream man. However, Leslie, she decided that she was going to mess around with Malachi, and Fatima ended up finding out about it. Yet her and Malachi supposedly fell in love, and that is why they moved away, because they decided to have a relationship and they did Fatima dirty. So then, y'all, things get even weirder because old girl's like, I'm a little confused as to why you even invited us here, considering what happened. And Zach, he like, yeah, I'm a little confused too. Like, why are they here? So Fatima isn't even able to answer because Leslie is still yapping. And she's like, after I saw you at the gym, I ended up telling him that I saw you, and he told me to get my hair just like yours. So he's probably still in love with you. Girl, at the end of the day, ain't that your man? And when he told you to get your hair done like Fatima's, why did you agree? Like, you're just as crazy as he is. Now, baby, this girl, she just dropped all types of bombs, right? Because she goes on to say how Malachi, he called Fatima, and she caught him and her coming out of some type of hotel room or something along those lines. Fatima is over there looking confused, and according to this girl, this happened last week. And I'm just like, well, what is going on here? Well. Okay, Miss Mama, she even got a photo to prove it, okay? She has a photo of Fatima in the bed with her man. And she's like, because Zach needs to know. Zach needs to know. Look at the picture, Zach. You see that, Zach? Do you see it, Zach? I'm like, baby, if I was Fatima, I would have came across that table. Because ain't no way this girl gonna play in my face like this. And I invited her and her man to my house. And I let them in my house without me being in it? Oh, hell no. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Malachi, what you got to say about this? What is going on, y'all? Y'all think Fatima cheated on Zach? Let me know in the comments. Y'all let me know in the comments. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.